should stay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another amazing episode of On the Couch. I'm Siobhan Clarke, and I'm your host, and tonight we have a wonderful show for you. It is Bermuda's tribute to Whitney Houston. We're here in the intimate Fresco's Wine Bar, and tonight we will have the opportunity to hear some of Whitney Houston's classics sung by local female artists here in Bermuda. But first, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Ben Fairn, our featured leader for tonight. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Awesome, and you know, I'm excited to have you with me, Mr. Fairn, because I don't even know where to start with you. You're a jack of all trades. I know that you started off putting yourself through college as a self-made man, if you wish.
With chocolate bars.
With chocolate bars, stacking up the vending machines. And now you actually own 6 successful businesses. Aardvark Communications Limited, Research.bm, Boxoffice.bm, Segway Tours, Cambridge Guest Houses, and of course, IRIE FM 98.3.
Which is my pride and joy.
That's your pride and joy, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone wants to know, how did you do it? What is your secret for success?
It started early on. I actually don't own 6. Some of those I've seeded or sold.
Okay.
But it started early. It started with chocolate bars and vending machines in a sense, and learning sort of retail and front-end business through what I was doing getting through college.
Sure.
So stuffing chocolate bars and machines and cleaning microwaves and things.
You had to do what you had to do.
It was good fun. Met lots of people. Met all the people who are addicted to soft drinks and things. But that taught me, the sort of basics of business and how to sort of lay out investment in things with machines and chocolate and candy and such. So it was a good start.
So how did you apply that to actually owning several businesses?
What I in the food business, which I moved out of, sort of after my college years, because it didn't look hugely profitable, as much fun as it was. But I learned a lot from my stepfather, who was good at picking up businesses that were distressed and not doing well.
Okay.
He had 1 or 2 businesses that he had done in his lifetime, very much like that. And so I sort of learned the technique of how to look for something that has a great potential, but also has a lot of risk. Which means it's a big risk going in, you can lose it all, or you can make very little. So I've tended to, Aardvark Communications, when I got involved, was a bankrupt advertising agency in 20 years ago. And
we won't do the counting.
I can't do the counting. My math's not good, really. But it was distressed, and it was going to close. The shareholders agreed to sell it if I could turn it around. So I spent a year or so sort of getting it back on its feet, and from that the shareholders sort of seeded and sold me shares at a very sort of base rate.
So would you call yourself a daredevil? Because there's quite a risk that you put yourself in.
There is, but I think it's early days you have nothing to lose. I still don't have a big bank full of money, but at the time it was really, it was a big opportunity, a big risk and big opportunity. And each one of these businesses has been somewhat the same. A couple of Boxoffice.bm and Research.bm were actually big opportunities without a big risk.
Sure.
By sort of researching the marketplace and doing a lot of asking questions and talking to people, you sort of learn what the risk associated with it is. And in both those cases, there was a great need to provide a service. So Boxoffice.bm was good fun and a great success, and sort of early technology in the days of doing online transactions in Bermuda. It was a tough thing to get going and make it work.
It's a godsend for those who have to push paper and count each account one by one.
Right. So we sort of moved, so we moved away from the paper and helped a lot of the local venues, city halls and theaters and such do their ticket sales online. And it wasn't taken up in great volume initially. I think it's much more, the vendors doing it now are doing quite well.
Sure.
So
people
are accustomed to it.
I'm sorry to cut you off. My apologies.
Okay. That's okay.
No, that's awesome, of course. Talk to me about 98.3. You said it's your baby, your passion.
It is very much so. It's sort of my recent child, I guess.
And that's where reggae lives,
and
right?
that's where reggae lives, very much so. I've been a fan of reggae all my life, and I'm not a connoisseur of reggae. And I don't know, I can't name every artist, and I can't name every track, but I know what I like, and that's generally the way music is for me. I ask me a Whitney Houston song, and I can tell you which movie it came from, but I can't tell you the name of the song. So the same with reggae. I know what I liked, and I know what my generation liked, and I know what generally people here grew up with, and it wasn't in the marketplace. So there was an opportunity again with a distressed business, which was K-Jazz FM. Cousin Juicy had passed, and the business was in trouble. So I got involved to help it, and in that had the opportunity to sort of put reggae on the front burner in Bermuda. I think it was a huge turn in the country that reggae has become 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've gone from a dozen reggae artists, to my knowledge, when we guessed it initially, to 75 reggae artists or 80 reggae artists locally producing.
Awesome.
We've got 400 or 500 tracks in the rotation that are all mostly local produced. So,
And that's the great thing about you guys. You play the local music.
Yeah.
You know, there are some radio stations that, you know, they
We play it.
screen a lot of the
Right.
local music.
right.
But
We play it all. We
you
play, give it to
all.
us and we play it, unless it's really bad. We haven't had anything that's really bad yet.
Yes.
But generally we put it on and play it because it's encouraging the whole reggae community and the production and artist community to get this stuff out. So we have a lot of new tracks coming
I've
up.
heard some bad songs on
Yeah,
98.5.
there's a couple of, that need a little bit of help. But again, it's, we don't turn it away. So it's
That's good.
That's been a bit of a passion for me to help and see that community. And I'm going to do more for that to help that local community of art, of music artists. I did the same with Bermuda Society of Arts some years ago. I got involved and it was a bit of a trouble. The committee was in trouble. The art gallery was hurting financially and things, and we sort of put it back on its track and made it available to all artists of all kinds, not just a select group. So it's really became a public gallery for anyone that wants to start their first painting. It could be the worst thing that's ever done, but you can show it at a member's show.
Yes, yeah.
So much the same in the station. It's first-time artists bring their tracks and we put them on.
You know, I mean, I think I can be bold enough to say that it's almost as if anything you touch seems to become, popular because the businesses that we've mentioned, whether you still have them or not, they are well-known businesses. And your background is sort of advertising, marketing, sales, that type of thing. So you've really proven, that you can take that distressed product and make it a household name, and that's amazing.
Well,
So
it's being, as I say, a serial entrepreneur is probably the best way to describe me.
Serial
Serial
entrepreneur.
entrepreneur, because I sort of get one thing underway and think, okay, that's great. I'm already looking at
Now what am I going to do now?
Yeah, I see something and go, hey, that might work. Maybe there's and I start looking into it. So the long-term sort of research goes on for some time before you sort of make the jump.
So would you say you have ADHD?
Yeah.
The adult version of ADHD?
I wake up shaking in the morning thinking, yeah, I do.
So
Very much.
tell me, here's a few phrases, and share your thoughts on it. Rags to riches, rags to riches, rags to riches, riches to riches, or none. How did you make your mark?
I wouldn't say rags to riches. I think, I went to university. I got the opportunity to have a good education. My parents set me up quite well. A lot of it came from just a sort of it's inherent in my makeup, I guess. Maybe I get that a bit from my parents, just to push and step forward and do things without.
And take chances.
And take chances and take risk. And I think the risk ratio, I always talk about my risk ratio, is kind of is much different than most people. Most people don't want that kind of, you might lose everything. And so being an entrepreneur is not always riches. It's quite often, it's the fun of being an entrepreneur and starting business and doing things, but it's not always making huge amounts of money. I mean, the big picture looks really nice. And I've had all these businesses. I should have been in a cell phone company. I might have been done much better, but it's not.
It's not too late.
But I'm having. No, it's not too late. No, that's a good comment. But it's the fun of doing it, and it's the fun of helping other people do it. I get involved in businesses to help other people sort of realize success in what they're doing, and quite often it's very simple alignments and very simple thinking that's sort of back to basics in some cases. So
you're more of a giver than a taker.
I think sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not all about the money. Not all about the money.
Okay, so what happens next for your businesses?
Well, I think the economy is really tight and things are changing substantially. So more and more now, change is upon us in all kinds of ways. In the marketing industry, my advertising agency is part of an industry that's shrinking substantially. Printing and
It's the
whole
first to
industry
go,
is changing.
right?
Yeah,
Marketing's always the first that people cut from their budget.
long-term marketing is, and the interesting thing is here, the Aardvark and then the agency business, long-term clients are sort of holding back their long-term plans and doing short-term stuff. In the radio business, people are because they're doing short-term, the radio business is picking up.
Okay.
Radio is a very effective medium, and it's very cheap on a cost per 1,000 basis. You can hit thousands of people for $25.
Yes,
you
that's true.
You can't do that in any other media, and you can't do it with a high frequency. So the radio business is doing well. The overall marketing planning business is looking for it's going to be challenged this year for
So you
sure
have
for
to
everybody.
be really creative, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's again, it's researching and digging into it and figuring which way forward. And that's researching other markets and other agencies and other businesses to see how they've changed their business model to make it through tough times.
Okay.
So-
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot. Try to think of it.
Okay.
Which Whitney Houston song is your favorite? Or give us the movie. Give us the movie.
Well, yeah, exactly.
want you to say the
movie.
movie.
I remember the snow scene and Whitney sitting out in the middle of a frozen lake, and it didn't look quite real, but that was the bodyguard. I guess so. I remember that one quite clearly. And the one before that was the first. I remember walking to a nightclub in Halifax, Nova Scotia, when Whitney first came, and there was this huge screen on the wall, and there was Whitney Houston with her huge hair singing I'm not sure what. I remember being just stunned. I walked in and watched this whole performance.
Yeah.
It was midnight in a nightclub, and I thought, oh my God, she's fantastic. Her voice was fantastic.
So you've seen her in concert?
This was on screen, on video.
I was going to say, can I touch you?
Yeah, I wish I had. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
fantastic.
as promised, we have for our listening audience, our viewing audience, I should say, we have the beautiful McCartney Darrell, and she will be singing a Whitney Houston classic.
It's been some time, but there's something on my mind. You see, I haven't been the same since that cold November day. We said we needed space, but all we found was an empty place. And the only things I've learned is that I need you desperately. So here I am, and can you please tell me, ooh, where do broken hearts go? Can they find their way home? Back to the open arms of a love that's waiting there. And if somebody loves you, won't they always love you? I look in your eyes and I know that you still care for me. Ooh, yeah. I've been around enough to know that dreams don't turn to gold, and that there is no easy way. You know you just can't run away. What we had was so much more than we've ever had before. And no matter how I try, you're always on my mind. So here I am, and can you please tell me, oh, where do broken hearts go? Can they find their way home? Back to the open arms of a love that's waiting there. And if somebody loves you, won't they always love you? I look in your eyes and I know that you still care for me. And now that I am here with you, I'll never let you go. I look into your eyes and now I know. Now I know. Where do broken hearts go? Can they find their way home? Back to the open arms of a love that's waiting there. And if somebody loves you, won't they always love you? I look in your eyes and I know that you still care. Where do broken hearts go? Can they find their way home? Back to the open arms of a love that's waiting there. And if somebody loves you, won't they always love you? I look in your eyes and know that you still care for me. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I know you care for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was McCartney Darrell, who started singing at the tender age of 3 years of age. She has opened Bermuda's first performing arts preschool, Building Blocks Academy. She has been trained, she's worked with Quincy Jones, and she has opened all 4 of Bermuda's music festivals. In just a few minutes, we will return with On the Couch.
But in running, you come last, you only look at yourself. So
Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them